Twisted X experiments with new ways to provide comfort in cowboy boots, and they're bringing their recently released cell stretch technology to a new line of Tech X boots with a leather outsole and Goodyear welt. In this video, I'm going to test these boots out over an extended period of time to see how they perform. Plus, if you're watching this within the first couple of weeks of it being posted, you have a chance to win a brand new pair in your size. Let's get into it.
I'm just here to connect ya, and then I'll be on my way.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really looking forward to trying out this new Twisted X Tech X boot with their cell stretch. It's very similar to the other ones that I tried, at least the technology on the inside, except for this one has a leather outsole and a Goodyear welt, when the others were much more modern made. So looking forward to trying this out in this extended test video. But before we go any further, I also need to mention that this video is sponsored by Twisted X. It is in my contract with them to approach this video in a very honest way, and if you saw my other two in this series, you know that I live up to that part of the contract. Huge thanks to Twisted X for supporting this channel and for providing an extra pair of boots for the giveaway. Now, without any further ado, let's break down the details of this awesome Tech X boot with the rundown. All right, this is Twisted X Tech X boot model number MXTL003, and it features a elephant print cowhide leather on the foot and the counter. So they've embossed it to make it look like elephant, but it is cowhide. Gives it a little bit extra texture. Looks pretty sweet. Also, this boot features a wide square toe with a double-stitched welt. It also comes in at 11 inches tall and features machine stitching on a black leather top. Down here for a heel, we have about a 1¼ inch composite heel. For an outsole, this one has a leather outsole, and you can see that it is on there with a Goodyear welt, which is different from the other boots in the Tech X line so far. You can also see brass nails alongside the shank there as well. On the inside, it's leather lined all the way through on the top and around the foot as well, and it appears to be pigskin leather. For an insole, we have Twisted X's famous Blend 85 removable insole, which is made up of 85% recycled foam taken directly from landfills or before it even gets there. So this is one of Twisted X's sustainability measures, and I think it's really cool. Then underneath the insole, we can see the Cell Stretch Comfort footbed there with those little blue dots in there, and that is supposed to help relieve pressure points in your foot to provide the most comfortable feeling when you're wearing a pair of Twisted X boots. These Twisted X boots are made in China, and they come in at around $270 at most retailers. Now it's time to try on this boot to see how it looks and feels. All right, I got on those Twisted X elephant print boots right now, and I can kind of feel that cell stretch already. You know, that Blend 85 insole is always really nice, but it's the extra cushion that you get from the cell stretch that is really, really next level. I mean, I tried it in that first Tech X boot, I guess in June of 2022, and it is so noticeable in those boots. Not as noticeable in these ones with the leather outsole at the moment, but we'll see how they break in. I can kind of feel that weight and pressure point displacement, especially at the ball of my foot right now. I chose size 11D. So usually with a square toe, 11D is a safe bet for me. My true size is a 12B. These boots don't come in a B width, which is okay. I have a lot of square toe boots that are 11Ds or 10.5Ds. So these are pretty snug. So they feel a little bit small, but you know, I'd say if you are a 10.5 in an Ariat square toe, maybe an 11 would be the best bet for a Twisted X crossover there. Now, the elephant leather, or the elephant print leather, excuse me, is pretty stiff, but that's normal when it comes to print leathers. Many of them, many cowhide boots that are embossed are stiff out of the box and they take a little bit extra time to break in. So we'll see how the break-in process goes for these. Let me pull those pants over so you can see what they look like just wearing them normal. You know, I like the color and the texture of the elephant print. It's kind of like a cigar look, and I think it looks great with these jeans as well. All right, here is the POV. You can see that texture of the elephant print on this cowhide leather with that wide square toe and a double stitched, well, not quite as wide as some other Twisted X boots that we've looked at recently. All right, now it's time to see how these Twisted X boots hold up. It's extended test time. I flew down to Dallas in my Twisted X boots to attend the Western and English Sales Association trade show, where the Western wear industry and the equestrian industry meet and get new styles into stores near you. Heading up to the top levels of the Dallas Market Center, you can find Western and English gear everywhere, including apparel, hats, outdoor gear, work gloves, equestrian products, ranch toys for the little ones, belt buckles, and it's all a celebration of the Western industry with music and fashion shows every day for 4 days straight. Wait, but what about the cowboy boots? Every single brand you can find in stores is here, including Twisted X. And I stopped by their showroom to see new products coming later this year. Like a boot that I'm wearing in this video, but blue rough out with American bald eagle in the shaft. I seriously wish I had these. Also, super light work boots that are crazy light and still have a safety toe in them. I also got to see how they make Eco Twix in stages of plastic being recycled from the top layer of just cut up bottle shreds to the last little bit at the bottom, Eco Twix threads. As I explore more of the show, I found a leather company who sells embossed elephant like what's used on these Twisted X boots, so I had to ask them more about it.
So embossed leather's pretty interesting. We start with a plain regular cowhide. We come in and stamp the pattern in. It takes about 80,000 pounds of pressure to get the pattern to where it stays. And then the base color is put on originally, and then all the lighter tones you see are all hand rubbed in and finished by hand. Sometimes the actual base material to hold the embossing pattern has to be a stiffer hide to keep the pattern that we're trying to put into it.
So much more is making sense about these boots. But why is leather embossed to look like elephant in the first place?
If you went with a real elephant hide, you're probably going to be about 10 times the price. Still real leather, but the faux pattern. And it gains you a lot of value and still gets a look you're after.
And during the 4 days I was at WESA, these boots looked and felt great. Alright, so that was another great WESA show. If you want to learn more about the Western and English Sales Association trade show, I visited last year as well and made a video covering the entire thing. You can see it at the card above or in the description. Now, it's time to get into my final thoughts about this Twisted X boot. This boot is an interesting blend between new and old, and there's a lot to unpack here. The old part is this Goodyear welt and this leather outsole, and it's combined with a more modern footbed. That is the cell stretch footbed in here that gives you a lot of cushion, specifically at the ball of foot and at the heel. I spoke with Twisted X at their showroom, and they told me it took them 4 years to get that new and old combination in a way that they liked it. And I think they did it right. There is some serious cushion here at the ball of the foot where the cell stretch kind of comes up in a mound because there's not as much space down here in a leather outsole as there is in some of their other Tech X lines that use more thick EVA outsoles and midsoles. So this is not a lot of space down here for some cushion, so they had to create a mound of those cell stretch blue bubbles that they have. So this can create a situation where it kind of pushes your foot up in a weird way so that your toes or the top of your foot might be kind of scrunched up here, maybe in the toe box or around this toe bug area. So what I did was wear thin socks until this boot was broken in enough to where I could wear thicker socks. And even when I wore those thick socks, I noticed that my foot and my toes were maybe a little bit cramped at the top of this toe box here, but that cell stretch mound does sort of flatten a little bit, and this leather does break in to make it possible after a few days or a week of wear. So even though I did feel a little bit scrunched up in here at times, that cell stretch mound provides the most cushion that I've ever felt at the ball of the foot area on a leather outsole boot. Like, Twisted X did it right. If you guys have issues with that, and I know some of you do, you've messaged me saying, how do I, support the ball of my foot a little bit more? It's kind of hurting. If you have issues with that, maybe this boot is one for you to try, because there's seriously a ton of cushion at that cell stretch mound here. There's another drawback to that cell stretch midsole other than it just pushing your foot up, and that has to do with the heel. Now, they told me that this heel is actually a leather heel, so I thought it was similar to some of their other boots in the past, but they said that they stack this and stamp it out right in the factory to have it make a real uniform look. And then they finish it with a veneer that doesn't feel like leather at all. But they also hollow this out a little bit to make room for that cell stretch cushion in the heel. So there's no mound at the heel. Instead, they hollow some of this out on the inside and have the cushion come down into the heel itself. And the reason why I'm a little concerned about that has to do with repair. Since this boot has a leather outsole, it will eventually get a hole in it. That's what happens to leather outsole boots, and it usually takes maybe 6 to 12 months of regular wear, depending on what the circumstances are that you're wearing it. So when that happens, cobblers will take the entire sole off to replace it many times, and they have to remove the heel to do that. And what I'm concerned about is then putting the heel back on with all of the cushion and everything, if you can even take it out anyways, because it is sewn in the footbed itself. So I want you guys to think about that before purchasing, and if you do end up getting this boot, I would recommend that you ask your cobbler to just do half soles on this boot. And maybe the first time that you ever get a half sole with this boot, maybe consider going with a rubber outsole or putting on a rubber sole saver. So only half soles on this boot. And if you guys want to learn more about half soles, I recently did a interview with Tom Barrett, owner of Siller Boot and Shoe, and we talked all about half soles, and you can see that at the card above or at the link in the description. Another thing with the leather outsole that I noticed is that since I was primarily wearing this in the wet weather and the snow, the outsole started to sort of curl up where these stitches come through on this outsole. So it kind of got a little bit wavy along the edges, especially at the toe at first. But immediately when I went down to Dallas and those drier climates down in Texas, they wore off very, very quickly. So if you get these boots and you're sort of noticing that it gets a little wavy around the edges, just keep wearing them and it will eventually fall off. I think that overall, while this boot does have some issues with being 100% repair friendly, Twisted X hit the nail on the head. Spending 4 years on a design like this definitely was worthwhile, in my opinion, because it provides extra cushion at the ball of the foot that is like no other brand. So they are completely in their own right here. This was a very interesting review for me to do because seriously, I've never felt anything like it, to be honest. The elephant print leather here was very nice to break in, much faster than regular elephant, that's for sure, and it softened up like the regular cowhide that it is. I like the color. I wish there was more toe shapes though. There's only this wide square toe with the double stitched welt. I did visit them in their showroom, like I said, and they had cutter toes for boots like this, so that's a narrow square toe. Although It's not coming out anytime soon, maybe 2024. I hope that they release it sooner than that because it looked really nice. I wasn't allowed to take images of it. They had to take me in the back area of their showroom to even show me what it would look like, and it looks pretty cool. So hopefully they release that soon because that would be the perfect combination of comfort and a good look and toe shape. I want to know what you guys think of this Twisted X boot down in the comments. Seriously, this is my favorite Twisted X boot that I've tried, and I think that they are really headed towards something special with this niche feeling and that cell stretch combined with the leather outsole. But I want to know what you think down in the comments. Now let's talk about the giveaway information. If you're watching this video within the first couple of weeks of it being posted, you have a chance to win a brand new pair of these Twisted X boots in your size. And here's what you have to do to enter. Number 1, like this video. Number 2, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. If you already have, you don't need to worry about number 2. And number 3, fill out the form at the link in the description or in the pinned comment below. Head on over to that page on my website, fill out that form, got some questions for you, press enter, and you will be entered to win a brand new pair in your size. And we're giving away 2 pairs, one for the men and one for the ladies. And then on Friday, February 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll announce the winner on a Boots and Ballads live stream right here on YouTube, where I will play music, talk boots, and so much more. And I'll also have prize packs for those of you who join me live. Don't miss it. It's a great time. So that's what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys on Friday, February 3rd for the announcement giveaway event. Peace. Have a good one. If you're looking for extra cushion on your feet and you want to wear your boots all day through the fields and the streets, gotta try that cell stretch from Twisted X. Thanks for watching today. Why don't you check out this other video up here about those same Twisted X boots for women, built the same way. My wife and I did the video. Or I got a music video down here I think you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe up here, and I will see you next time. Yeah.